Oh, this one's going to linger. Get comfortable. Let the cold fade away. Slow down. Breathe it in. And when you're ready, baby, dream of a new life.
Cabin Life, Borrowed Heat by Catherine Serafina. Chapter 9, Names for the Weather. Part 2. Shane didn't even pretend to be subtle. "Well," he said, glancing at Davis, "you're the one who brought her up. You gonna tell Lainey who Michelle is or keep squirming?" Davis grimaced. "I'm not squirming." I tilted my head, interest sharpening. "You absolutely are." Shane smirked. "Yeah, you are." I pushed it one more time, trying to be cute. "Davis, who's Michelle?" Davis exhaled through his nose, defeated. "Fine." "Korean," Davis said. "About our age. She was in the middle of changes like yours. Family she was with didn't take it well." Shane nodded. "They tried to manage it, control it. Act like if they ignored it long enough, it would stop." "She left," Davis said. "Been mostly on her own since the freeze. She's smart, careful, pays attention, knows when to keep her head down." He continued without pausing. "Capable, quiet, cute?" He stopped mid-sentence, frowned slightly. Anyway." I blinked. "Cute?" I repeated. Davis looked at me, then at Shane, then back at me. "That's not what I meant," he said automatically. "You listed 5 things," I said. "That's the one you tripped over?" Shane leaned back, grinning. "Wow." "She's just," Davis exhaled. "She's been through a lot." "And you talked," I said, already knowing. Davis shrugged, ears pink. "Yeah, we talked." Shane smirked. "For hours." "Oh, shut up." I smiled softly. "Is she okay?" "As okay as anyone," Davis said. "But she might come back with us someday, if it's safe." The thought settled between us. Whatever this was, whatever was rewriting bodies and lives, it wasn't unique, and it wasn't ending. But for the first time, it didn't feel like I was alone in it. Not anymore. I shifted on the couch again, trying to do it subtly. It didn't work. The movement pulled across my chest in a way that made me suck in a breath, and still, fingers hovering uselessly near the hem of my sweater, like that might somehow help. Shane noticed immediately. "Bra bothering you?" he asked. Not teasing, just observant. I hesitated, then let out a slow breath. "It's tight, not painful, just," I gestured vaguely, "present, all the time." "Yeah," he said, nodding once. "That tracks." I frowned. "That tracks?" Davis pushed himself off the wall. "Okay, then come on. We should have dealt with this sooner." "Dealt with what?" I asked. "You'll see," he said, already moving. "Go wait in your room." That gave me pause, but I went. I hadn't even made it to the bed before I heard them behind me. Heavier footsteps this time, followed by a low grunt of effort. Then the door frame filled. Not with 1 suitcase. 4. They didn't set them down gently. They dropped them onto my bed in a staggered thump-thump-thump that made the mattress bounce and the frame creak in protest. I stared. "Why are there 4? Davis straightened and rolled his shoulders. "Because we travel prepared." "For what?" I asked. "Your future," Shane said simply. Davis added, deadpan, "Also because I wanted my closet back." I snorted despite myself. Shane crouched and flipped open the nearest case. 3 of these are women's clothes. "And the 4th?" I asked, already bracing. Davis nudged the last bag with his foot. "Lucas." The name landed quietly. "All of it?" I asked. He nodded. Everything that still fit, or almost fit, figured it was time. My throat tightened. Not with loss exactly, more with finality. I crouched and opened the nearest suitcase, and froze. There was a lot, not just practical things, though there were plenty of those. Soft sweaters that made my fingers linger longer than necessary, knit tops with necklines I'd never owned before, jeans cut higher at the waist, shaped for hips that no longer felt temporary. Then the second bag. More of the same. Dresses folded carefully, leggings in fabrics that looked like they'd cling just enough, skirts I couldn't imagine Lucas ever touching. And underneath it all, bras, panties, some plain, some very much not. I picked up one bra without thinking, then another, checked the tags, my brows lifting. Well, I muttered, at least now I know why I was fighting that one so much. Shane leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed. That B-cup was never gonna last. I glanced up. You noticed? He shrugged. Hard not to. I dug a little deeper. More C-cups, several of them. And then I paused. Are these D and double D? Davis peeked over my shoulder. Yeah? I stared at him. What kind of girls did you date? Shane answered without hesitation. Busty ones? Very busty ones, Davis corrected. I shook my head, half laughing, half dazed. Of course you did. I nudged the larger bras aside, eyeing them suspiciously. If Davis gets lucky, maybe Michelle will end up making use of these. Shane barked a laugh. Davis shot me a look. Hey, you don't know you're done growing. I flicked his shoulder without thinking. Don't you dare. He rubbed the spot, grinning. I'm just saying it's not impossible. I folded my arms, then hesitated. Annoyingly, Shane smirked. I wouldn't complain. I turned and punched him too. Men, I muttered, rolling my eyes. Davis snorted. Well, you would know, wouldn't you? I opened my mouth, then stopped. Thought about it. Yeah, I said finally, I would. That earned me a look from both of them. Not awkward, not pitying, just acknowledging. I took a breath and straightened. Okay, I said. I think I need to do the rest of this part alone. Shane raised both hands immediately. Fair. They turned to go. And before I could overthink it, I stopped them. Oh, guys? They both paused in the doorway and looked back at me. I swallowed once. Just, thank you. You really don't know how much this means to me. Neither of them made a big deal out of it. Shane smiled. Davis nodded once, soft and sincere. Then they left, the door clicking quietly behind them. I exhaled and turned back to the suitcase. Slower this time, I let myself actually look, touch, imagine. The fabrics felt different against my skin than anything I remembered. Lighter, softer, made to drape instead of hang. I passed over bras that were clearly too big, paused at a few maybes, and finally stopped at one tucked beneath a folded sweater. Simple, supportive, cute without trying too hard. Pink. I stared at it for a second longer than necessary. Huh, I murmured. I picked pink. The realization made me snort softly, and then, unexpectedly, smile. I didn't hate it. I slipped my shirt off and reached behind my back, unhooking the old bra. The relief was immediate. Not dramatic, just profound. The tight, constant pressure vanished, and my shoulders dropped without me telling them to. I stood there for a moment, breathing. Then I looked up. My breasts settled naturally now, free and warm, fuller than they still felt real to me. I turned slightly, studying myself from the side, then straight on. This is my life, I said quietly. The thought didn't scare me. If anything, it felt strange how okay I was with it. I lifted my hands and cupped them instinctively, feeling the weight, the softness, the way they fit my palms. I watched my reflection do the same and felt a flicker of curiosity alongside the disbelief. Is this it? Or is there more coming? Let's hope that Michelle gets to make use of them instead of me. I let my hands fall and shook my head once, amused at myself. "One thing at a time," I said. I slid the pink bra on. The difference was immediate. "Oh," I breathed. The weight was still there, but balanced now, supported, held without squeezing. I rolled my shoulders experimentally, then stood a little straighter without even thinking about it. I caught my reflection again and stopped. My breasts sat differently now, not exaggerated, not hidden, just right, obvious in a way that felt honest instead of overwhelming. "Cup," I murmured. The word didn't feel dramatic. It felt factual. I pulled my shirt back on and headed out into the main room. Shane glanced up once, took me in, and nodded. "Told you it'd fit better," he said simply. And for the first time since the bra had started bothering me, I didn't feel defensive about it. I just felt better. Later, when the cabin finally settled into its nighttime hush, I made one last round through the main room. The fire had burned low, red and breathing, but not dying. I added a few split logs carefully, nudging them into place until the flames caught again and climbed. Warmth mattered. Letting it go out wasn't an option. By the time I turned back, both doors down the hall were already closed. Shane had kissed my cheek earlier, murmuring that he was dead on his feet and that I should take my time, that he knew I wanted to go through the clothes. He'd smiled when he said it, like he could tell how excited I was even before I admitted it to myself. That alone said more than I was ready to unpack. I went back into my room and sat on the edge of the bed, the suitcases already waiting where they'd been dropped earlier. I opened the first one again, slower this time, more deliberately. Clothes first. Sweaters, shirts, jeans that actually made sense on my body now, things I didn't have to justify or adjust or tug at. I folded what I knew I'd wear, stacking them neatly, letting myself imagine mornings where choosing what to put on wasn't an exercise in compromise. Then I reached the underwear. There was a lot. Practical cotton pairs in soft colors, simple cuts meant for everyday movement, and then others that made my fingers hesitate. Lace, satin, things cut narrower, smaller, undeniably suggestive, deep reds, black, a few pastel pinks that made me shake my head and smile despite myself. I wasn't sure I was ready for all of those, but the fact that I was even considering it made my cheeks warm. At least with panties, sizing wasn't a battle. Most of them would fit. No guesswork, no negotiation with my body, just options. Too many options. I swallowed and set them aside, telling myself I'd sort them later. Maybe one of these nights. The thought alone was enough to make me blush. I glanced toward the door, imagining Shane's expression if I surprised him like that, and immediately forced my attention back to the suitcase before I spiraled. The fourth bag sat heavier at the foot of the bed. Lucas's things. I opened it and moved through it carefully. Most of it didn't belong to me anymore. Not emotionally, not physically. A couple of pairs of jeans I kept aside, along with a few thicker shirts that could be cut down for patches or repairs. Practical. Useful. The rest, I folded back into the bag. Not with anger, not with grief, just acceptance. Shane and Davis could trade it. Someone else might get use out of it. In this world, that mattered more than sentiment. When I finally stood, I caught my reflection without really meaning to. I didn't study it. I didn't catalog changes. I just looked and let myself be honest. This wasn't something I'd ever expected. Not in 100 imagined futures. But if this was how things were settling, how they were finishing their thought, I couldn't say I was unhappy with the results. I looked good. More than that, I felt right in a way I hadn't known I was missing. And after what Shane and Davis had described, the things people were dealing with out there, I knew it could have been so much worse. A tale, I thought. I snorted quietly. Okay, that might have been kind of cool. But still, I turned off the lamp and slid under the blankets, the the new bra sitting comfortably against me, my body finally at ease instead of constantly demanding attention. From the other room, the fire cracked softly, steady and alive. Tomorrow would come with its own questions. For now, I let myself rest, surrounded by warmth, possibility, and the quiet certainty that whatever I was becoming, I wasn't fighting it anymore. And that felt like its own kind of peace.
Thank you for listening. I'm grateful you're here.
Still lost in the dream, aren't you? Don't worry, I've got plenty more where that came from. Sweet, sexy, transformative little dreams. All just a click away. And if you're craving the naughty versions, the ones too hot for YouTube, you know exactly where to find them. On my Patreon. I'll be waiting, gorgeous.